to tell me who's good? I mean, I have a pretty good idea because I'm crushing Greg in the picks lately.
I'm stupid.
But what is happening?
What the hell's going on out here?
I mean, Tom Brady needs to beat the Panthers to get above 500. The Packers are 2 games back of the Vikings in the NFC North. The Bears are in prime time again.
Fields, chase, spins, cannot get away.
2 is back against the Steelers. Respectable football is back at MetLife.
Jones throws. Touchdown, Bellinger.
Our bank's back too. God, I hope so. Game Day View presented by Mercedes-Benz starts now.
Oh, welcome to Game Day View. The producer that wrote that intro just taking shots at everyone. Everyone's catching strays. Little
The
Ray
show
just
hasn't
catching
even
strays.
started and
What?
you're spreading lies about me.
Did you two write that? You're the only ones that stayed out of fire there.
Famously mean Cynthia Freeland is just a
Oh, yeah.
right
He's a
there.
bully.
Who could forget? Welcome to Game Day View. I feel like I'm maybe like a evil twin of Rachel named Raquel Bonetta. Greg Rosenthal, Cynthia Freeland, Patrick Claybon. Guys, it is a very special day. We are all together. It is Mrs. Claybon's birthday.
Hey.
Shout out.
That's Lauren.
But let's talk about some football, shall we? You guys want to get into it?
Let's do it.
Okay, Chiefs, Niners. This game is exciting. Maybe perhaps the most exciting game of the weekend. Are we rolling to something?
In Miami, it is Super Bowl 54.
You know the matchup by now. First points of the game belong to the 49ers.
Mahomes keeps it. He dives right side. Touchdown. Juszczyk breaks the tackle. Touchdown.
It's Mostert in for the touchdown.
Bootleg. Touchdown pass. Chiefs have life.
Touchdown. Kansas City jumps on top.
Damian Williams runs to immortality, and the Chiefs' kingdom has firmly planted its flag on top of football's highest summit.
Football's highest summit. All right, Chiefs, Niners. Chiefs favored by 1.5, and they are only 2-4 against the spread this season. Greggy, do they handle business?
I am trying to thread the tiniest of needles here. I'm having the Chiefs win this game, but only by 1, 26-25. Of course, we had the Christian McCaffrey trade late in the week. NFL Network, our guy Ian Rapport, saying that there will be a red zone package for Christian McCaffrey, so he'll get some snaps. I don't think running the football is that complicated. Like, I know they make it sound really complicated, and there's pass protection issues, but he's gonna play, and he's gonna play more than they expect, and I think it adds to what's been a weakness for San Francisco. They've actually been a very efficient passing game this year, and the worst running game since Kyle Shanahan has been in San Francisco. So I think Christian McCaffrey helps. I don't think it's a great Chiefs defense. They get Willie Gay back this week, which is great, but the Chiefs defense has been mediocre, and I think this 49ers team is quite good. So I think it's a 1-point game either way, but there's a rule I have in life, Rachel. You do not pick against Patrick Mahomes or Rachel Bonetta 2 weeks in a row. You do not pick against Patrick Mahomes. It felt bad last week rooting against him, and we were right when we, if we picked.
I was not.
I'm going against him. I'm staying with him this week.
What do you like, Sim?
Okay, well, I have a 2-point win in favor of the Chiefs. When I look at this game, the thing that happens for me most is kind of the other side. I'm looking at what Patrick Mahomes will do against this defense. Of course, Nick Bosa is back, but still struggling. 2-point win for me in this one, 26-24. It's really the zone defense that makes a big difference. And if you look to see what DeMeco Ryans does, well, he plays zone at the 3rd highest rate in the NFL. And Mahomes has a 72.1 completion percentage against zone. Sometimes we talk about 2 safety shells being a way to stop Patrick Mahomes. Seems like that trend has reversed. Part of that is Travis Kelce, National Tight End Day, a very big deal. And I will point out the 49ers defense, even with last week having that strange week with everyone not playing, they're still the 3rd highest pressure rate in the league. So it'll be interesting. Quick passes, zone defense, Patrick finding the holes in the zone.
Getting in there. I do.
That's how you do it.
Patrick 1, Patrick 2. What do you like?
It's honestly the evaluation of the Patrick thing. I appreciate Patrick. Much like Greg, I'm not going to pick against Patrick Mahomes. 2 weeks in a row, got away with it last week. The pick kind of hurt
Yeah, you guys
me.
all seem really confident with these scores.
It's 23.
Interesting.
21. Basically, it's so close because everything's coming up Niners this week. It's not just the Christian McCaffrey trade. One of the best players in the NFL, Trent Williams, comes back this week. They get Bosa back. They get Jimmy Ward. And then on the other side, we get to see Debo. And we've chronicled the problems that the KC defense has had against number one wide receivers for the past few weeks. So Deebo is set to feast off of single coverage. I can see the Niners way exceeding the number of points they've had in losses. Right now they're averaging about 12 points in losses. I think they get 21. The problem is, like everybody else said, let's just see the Chiefs scoring more.
You just don't want to.
No, we're all on the Chiefs, right? Yeah.
Guys, play my music. Play it up. Turn it up.
I'm glad someone took
volume. Turn up the volume on Oh Canada, because this is a lone edit. But I mean, is it a lone edit? Everyone's kind of like tiptoeing on. They're dipping their toes.
Smart lone edit.
Scores.
It's a smart strategy.
This is a lone bone if I ever saw one.
It's a lone bone if I ever saw one as well. 27-26. I'm buying in. Everyone's like, how much are we really going to see Christian McCaffrey? I don't know. Hopefully a little bit. Did you guys know that there is a world in which we may live that Kyle Shanahan babysat Christian McCaffrey once upon a time? I love that story, and I love this move. I'm going 49ers. They're a fun Cinderella team. They wore that last year.
You pretend you're a Chargers fan, but every week all you do is talk about Jimmy G this, Jimmy G that.
I'm a fan of Jimmy G. Sue me. Okay, who is more fun to root for this season? The teleprompter might think about moving. Thank you. Who is more fun to root for this year than Brian Daboll, crushing it in his first year as a head coach? So excited after every win. He's got the Giants at 5-1, the only 5-win team playing this week, taking on the Jags. Sim, the desert likes the Jags by 3. Total disrespect to that man right there. What do you think? What do you like?
I'm going Brian Daboll I hear in the locker room after he plays Juicy, fan favorite, of course. I need to see him dancing in the locker room. The model also agrees with me. I have a win for the Giants, 23-21 in this matchup. When I'm looking at kind of why and what's going on, I'm looking at this blitz rate. So 43.7%, that's how often the Giants blitz. That's good for number 1 in the NFL. And then Trevor Lawrence, we still haven't seen him figure out what happens when he's pressured. Not saying that every blitz turns into a pressure, but his 52.6 passer rating when he is pressured, that ranks 23rd. So for me, it's kind of low-key this Giants' ability to create havoc on Trevor Lawrence that makes the difference in this matchup.
Right.
I got the Jaguars winning this game. I don't feel great because when the model is so different than what Vegas is, that makes me feel uncomfortable. But you know what the model also says? That the Giants have the 27th best rush defense in the league. And you know the way to beat heavy blitz teams? You run right at them.
Yep.
No one loves blitzing more than Wink Martindale. And this running game with Travis Etienne and James Robinson have been getting more dynamic each and every week. They remind me a little bit of a running back duo that used to play in New York, and that was Thunder and Lightning. Ron Dane and Tiki Barber. You got the fast, quick guy. You got the big bruiser. And I think this Giants team has been getting a little bit lucky each and every week, the defense especially. And we're going to correct it here with a Jaguar.
That Jags defense on rush is pretty good.
They're good.
It is.
Not so
and
bad.
that's the key part of my pick because we have strength on strength. We have a top 5 rush offense against a top 5 rush defense. Greg and I were concerned in how aligned we were on these picks because we thought we were each going to be alone. I'm taking the Jags in this one, 22-19. Not just Travis and James in the run game. I think Trev is going to be heavily involved in this run game as well. We saw him
on a nickname basis?
Yeah, this is how me and Trev have been communicating since back in the days in Georgia. You know, this is no. We've only met 2 times, but he's a very nice person.
Oh, so that's what this is about? Just like the long flowing locks.
Just leaving us in the dust.
Just look at this dude run the ball.
Yeah, he has been really effective running.
But truly, as you mentioned, I think this is a legitimate strategy to deal with the blitz pressure that Wink and company are going to bring. I like the Jags keeping it on the ground and stopping the ground game. Jags win at home.
You guys make a lot of good points. I know that Jags defense is good on rushing. I think Saquon's going to I think that this is going to be a low-scoring game. I have it 17-10 for the Giants. There's just something sparkly and fun about the Giants. I read this story in The Athletic this week. Brian Daboll, apparently in the team meetings, will pick 2 players at random. No one knows. And they have to play each other in Madden, Giants versus Giants. And then the whole team gathers around them. They're yelling. It gets very competitive. Like, I know we had the whole ping pong table fiasco last week. This is the kind of team vibe that I want to hear about. Madden, Giants versus Giants. I like them, 17-10.
How come we never hear these stories when the teams are losing? You know what I mean?
Whatever. I don't know. I just want to shine a light on some good stuff. Okay, let's do the math, shall we? Specifically Cynthia.
Yeah,
She's the only
Cynthia's
one that's allowed to do the math here. The Jags have allowed 6 rushing touchdowns in their last 3 games. Can Saquon get on the ground and in the air this week?
I'm going to go with not both, but certainly one of them. He does lead the team in both rushing and receiving yards over expected. He has over 200 combined in both of those metrics together. When I'm looking at this one, though, Saquon feasts on those outside zone runs, and actually the Jags are low-key the best at stopping them, so he averages 6.7 yards on them, and they're only giving up 2.3. So it's probably going to be 1 touchdown, but just one.
I think receiving. Ever since Doug Peterson, or rather Nick Sirianni and the Eagles put Devin Lloyd in a blender, 2 straight weeks, teams have really attacked him in the passing game, and running backs have gotten on him.
There you go. Okay, NFL Plus is the league's new exclusive video streaming subscription service. NFL Plus has your game day covered with live, local, and prime time regular season, postseason games right on your phone or tablet. NFL Plus is available in the NFL app and at NFL.com. Subscription plans start at just $4.99 a month. Fans can visit plus.nfl.com and sign up for a free trial of NFL Plus today. All right, coming up, can Cynthia's Lions do it? Can they overcome?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cynthia.
Who is coming back?
God, I want them to.
Cowboys, Lions. After this break, don't go anywhere.
Roar.
He looks determined and focused and healthy.
You gotta be crazy if you're thinking I'ma stop.
Prescott with all day going deep. Touchdown! What a strike from Dak Prescott.
I'm knocking.
Play fake, half roll to the right, throws it to Schultz. Touchdown, Cowboys.
I said
Looking down the field, Lamb. 10, 5, victory! Cowboys win!
Oh, if that doesn't get you excited, check your pulse, folks. Time for Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes-Benz. Cowboys were excellent, nearly perfect with Cooper Rush, but Dak is back against Cynthia's Lions. What do you think?
Roar.
Definitely not a roar, more like more like a meow. I've got a pretty significant win in favor of the Cowboys in this one, 29-20. The two of you, children. 29-20 is my final projected score. I looked into why the Lions defense has been so susceptible. And what's really been happening is they've been blitzing quite a bit, 41.2%, the 3rd highest blitz rate. And guess what Dak does? He threw 23 touchdowns, the most in the NFL last season against the blitz. Yeet. And also, when you don't have many defensive backs in coverage, it just makes a lot more one-on-one. You really want to go up against CeeDee Lamb and Michael Gallup, one-on-one? No, thank you. So that's what drives that score. It would be maybe 1 point closer if DeAndre Swift is for sure healthy, but it seems like he's doubtful or he's questionable or something.
I think he'll probably play. He had a little
But that doesn't make him 100%.
And you know what score is 1 point closer? Mine, 28-20. I love it when my score comes so close to the model. I just make it up. She did so much work.
I'm just pretending to be smart over here.
Right, it's just totally out of thin air. Look, Dak Prescott returning this week is perfect. Like the first day of school, the kids get an early dismissal, ease them back in, not a full day of work. That's what it's like going against this Lions defense. They don't know what they're doing in terms of rushing the passer. They're starting to practice Aiden Hutchinson at off-ball linebacker. Their cornerbacks are struggling. Dak Prescott is returning to a better situation than that week 1 in which he struggled. Defense is playing better. Offensive line's playing better. The running game is better. Dak Prescott has so many more options, and he doesn't have to be aggressive because the rest of the team is playing so great. What a nice way to return. Sorry, I bet it's true.
Somebody send me Olgas. I need some Olgas. If you're from Michigan, you know what that means.
Well, it's not. Cynthia understands the situation that the Lions.
She gets it.
I think everybody understands the situation the Lions are in. But I would like to mention a positive because I am going to speak this into existence. DeAndre Swift will play and he will play well.
Let's go.
I need this to happen because he's so fun to watch. And this offense, when he is there, is also fun. And speaking of weaknesses, because this Cowboys defense is good, but they are 19th in rush defense, number 1 in sacks, top 5 in pass defense, 19 in rush defense. So I think the Cowboys have a lead, but the Lions, with some DeAndre Swift screen passes, some Jared Goff YOLO balls, maybe Josh Reynolds gets involved. Garbage time counts in fantasy, and it also counts on the scoreboard. So
I was going to say, it sounds like somebody's got DeAndre Swift on his fantasy teams. Maybe a couple of different fantasy teams is what it sounds like. I've got the closest score here. I am taking the Cowboys to win 24-20. Here's one thing that we do not know. We don't really know what Dak is going to look like. We're hoping for the best, but just a week ago, he was having trouble gripping the ball. He's got all of this outside noise with Jerry Jones being like, I want a quarterback controversy. Cooper Rush crushed it. He took care of business. Walking into that situation, we don't know if he's 100% healthy. I'm going to say something crazy. Okay?
do it.
Crazy.
The Lions could be 4-1. The Lions could be.
It's true.
And yet you are choosing them to lose here. You're acting like this is some sort of profile and courage.
I've got the closest score. I think the Lions could stay in, and I know they have their issues, but they have kept a lot of games close. So Cowboys win. I hope that Dak balls out
Lions
and looks
fans,
amazing.
please meme us. I hope we're wrong.
Right. The Lions meme alerting
please.
us.
I welcome
please.
that.
I welcome it.
Okay, it is time for this guy or that guy. This goes for Greg. Which quarterback is more likely to throw for over 250 yards?
Well, it's tough here. I don't have a model, but I do know one of these guys is playing the Cowboys defense, and the other guy is playing the Lions defense. So I'm going to go with that guy, Dak Prescott. It just feels like a very easy choice. Like I almost thought, is this a trick question? I know Jared Goff has been lighting it up, but when he played a good defense like the Patriots, he didn't light it up.
Yeah.
So this is Dak easy.
Didn't put a single score on the board. Okay, well, Dak's not the only quarterback making his return this week. After missing the last 2 games with the concussion, it is Tua time once more in Miami. Dolphins Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Dolphins are favored by a whole touchdown. Patrick, the Dolphins are honoring the 72 team on Sunday night. Will they do it with a win?
Yes, they will do it with a win. Absolutely. I'm so glad. We're all glad to have Tua Tagovailoa back at starting quarterback. And one place I actually think this leads to some improvement is on the ground game. Tua comes back, and these RPO decisions that the quarterback is making become a little bit easier. The stretch where the Dolphins were missing their quarterbacks, of course it would be tough for everybody, but they only ran for 100 yards once. They've only gone over 100 yards on the ground this season one time. I think they do it against the Steelers defense, and the Dolphins get a win in this one.
Big win.
My final score, 23-14.
Yeah, I'm surprised the Dolphins are favored by that much. I think it'll be a closer game, but I do have the Dolphins winning 24-22. Part of the reason is Mike McDaniel's offense creates yards. And yes, Tua Tagovailoa is an upgrade at quarterback, but look at what Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill were doing even when they were gone. No one noticed, but Skylar Thompson balled out for a quarter and a half last week. He played fantastic. Teddy Bridgewater was moving the ball up and down the field, and I say that just to point out, Mike McDaniel's the new coach. I think he's had a tough month. I don't think he handled the Tua concussion discussion and how he handled that publicly well at all. But this guy creates open receivers, open yards. To me, it's the purest sort of McVay, Shanahan acolyte to go elsewhere and find immediate results. Now he's got his quarterback back in the mix. He's going up against a banged-up Steelers defense. I think they get the win.
I laughed when you said your close score because I, too, have a closer than 1 touchdown score in this one. So we're actually quite aligned this week, which is, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing for both of us. We rise and fall together here.
Maybe I'm not stupid, like you said on the.
I didn't say that out loud.
I have 25-19 as my final score here. I just want to give Tua some love with the deep ball passes because we were really questioning it ahead of the season. And as of right now, guess who ranks #1 in the NFL in terms of completion percentage at 65.1 and yards per attempt at 15.3 on 10+ air yards attempts? It's Tua.
Oh, it's Tua?
Spoiler
Okay,
alert.
yeah.
Spoiler alert. It's Tua.
Makes sense that he was the answer since we're talking about it.
Right.
What if it was somebody else? That would be wild.
But low-key, I do think that the guy who orchestrates what the defensive backs are going to do has a lot of information about Tua in this game, as in Brian Flores, as in my college friend, as in the former coach of the Miami Dolphins. So I do think there'll be some specific schemes in there to create what he knows how to stop it. We talk about Wink knowing how to stop whoever. Well, I think Brian Flores is probably pretty familiar with that as well.
Well, yeah, we talk revenge games sometimes as a joke. Like this is a real, this is a real revenge
real
game.
deal.
Actual animosity.
Meme alert, I am taking the Dolphins as well. I've got a bigger win, 25-17. I thought it was really interesting. Tua came out this week and he was like, just so everyone knows, I'm not the Dolphins savior. I thought that was really interesting because obviously they had such a hot start. They went 3-0, and then the last few games have fallen apart. They've gone 3-3 now. He comes back in. Everyone's like, oh, Tua is going to turn it around. We're all fine. And he came out at a press conference this week and said, I'm not your savior. I just thought that was very interesting with all the pressure put on him preseason. He does really well, then the concussion happens. I'm very interested to watch this game and watch how he handles it all. I hope he balls out. I've got a big win for the Dolphins, but I'm curious. Okay, Jets. They are fired up. They are 4-2. I went on ATM this morning and wearing a Jets sweater. Could it bring them good luck like it has in the past?
Around the NFL podcast.
I am the reason
Love
the
it.
Jets are 4 and not 2. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be talking about this game coming up. Cancer screening can help prevent and detect a number of cancers early, which often means less intense and more successful treatment. If you don't know where you can get screened, the NFL and the American Cancer Society can help. Visit NFL.com/crucialcatch or text CATCH to 635-635 to find your local cancer screening center and additional screening resources. All right, time to talk about the Seahawks and the Chargers. Over under at 50.5. Biggest one of the week. Seahawks, 5-point underdogs. Greggy, clearly people haven't been listening to you gush about your beloved Seahawks and your beloved Geno Smith. I'm about to do it in a second. What do you like in this one?
I like the Seahawks defense, which sounds strange since they've only played once once all year. I have them winning this game 26-24, and I'm going to get a little dorky. Early in the season, they were playing a different style of defense. Pete Carroll tried to mix it up, playing more passive, having their defensive linemen two-gap, which means just like holding up the blockers and letting the linebackers make plays behind them. Last week, they let them just go back to their old system, kind of penetrate, get pass rush pressure. And you know what happens when you get pass rush pressure? You let Tariq Woolen, the best playmaker at cornerback in the league, even though he's a rookie, make plays on the ball. They're starting to force turnovers. I think this defense can turn it around. If you look at Pete Carroll's history, they often start really slow on defense, and then they turn it up. So the defense just does enough, and they get a win, an upset, big upset.
What do you like in this one?
We're kind of on the same side, but I have a different winner. So I have a 4-point.
So
not
when
on
they
the
do the
same side at
standings
all.
at the end, that'll be two totally different sides.
But not really,
Close,
because
though.
it's only a 4-point win. I've got 28-24 in this matchup. I want to talk about Justin Herbert because for the first time last game, we didn't see him throw a touchdown pass in quite some time. And in fact, he was sort of like actively avoiding Pat Surtain, who I would argue maybe he's a little better than Tariq Woolen. Maybe.
I just said playmaker on the ball. This man is like
Got
a
it.
hawk who's just like flying in and
Is he a
swooping.
Seahawk?
6'4", 4'2", 640. Yeah, okay, I'll shut up. So.
Anyways, but long story short, I think Justin Herbert will find more success in the passing game in this one. In fact, I think he's my number 2 quarterback overall for fantasy purposes. Nothing to worry about here. I'm not super worried about that defense. I know Rashawn Slater isn't there, but Austin Eckler still is. And if we don't know if Keenan Allen's playing yet, and if he does, I think that's going to be a fun one. We'll see kind of Justin Herbert get back to Justin Herbert.
Yeah, playing the Broncos is not the prescription for seeing your numbers go up as a quarterback. And it throws everything off. I think Mike Williams is not going to get certained again because he's not playing. It's a fundamentally different situation for him. But Cynthia mentioned Austin Eckler. I think that's so crucial because the Seahawks rush defense was a lot better against the Cardinals. This is as great as Eno Benjamin was on Thursday night. This is not Eno Benjamin. This is a better run game and a more balanced run situation. I think it's a lot of Austin Eckler on the ground. Chargers win it in a close one, 24-22.
You know, it's funny that you mentioned the Seahawks defense because we saw them play the Cardinals last week, and I was like, this might just be the Cardinals being bad, putting up like 9 points. But then they put up, 42 last night on Thursday Night Football? I am going Seahawks here. Not by a lot. 32-30. I want to see this high scoring, and you know why? Let's talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Geno Smith. Listen to this. Thank you, Greg. Listen to this. His NFL rankings, okay? Completion percentage, he's first, baby. Passing yards per attempt, he's fifth. Passing TD, INT, he's second. Passer rating, third. Giveaways, he's first. He's tied for first. Let's go, Geno!
What is going on?
I'm on board.
I should not have had a cappuccino right before the show, but that was
Neither
being the
should
crowd.
I
She was the hype man, I was the crowd.
It sounds like the crowd is being tortured. It's hot.
Let's go Seahawks. Let's go Gino. Okay, I think I speak for everyone when I say thank you. Thank you, football gods. At long last, our national nightmare of watching the Broncos in prime time week after week is over. Broncos, Jets, 4:05 Eastern kick. We made it, guys. We made it. Greg, the Broncos favorite at home, but it's tight. Russ is a game time decision, according to Rap Sheet. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I struggled with this pick, but in the end, I took the Jets to win this game 20-17. It's not because of the quarterback in Denver. It's because of the pass protection. They have really struggled up front to recognize where the blitz is coming from, and especially when teams run stunts. When they run games up front and the defensive linemen go into different gaps. Who's better at that than the Jets right now? The Jets are so good at confusing opposing offensive linemen. And a lot of people just think like, hey, let's blame Russell Wilson for the protection here, because that is on the quarterback a lot. It's on the coaches even more. It's on the offensive line coaching staff, and it's on the head coach to have a system where you have checks and you can recognize where the protection, and that's on Nathaniel Hackett, and that's going to happen, I think, in this game, no matter who's at quarterback.
Yeah, the twists are definitely giving offensive line fits, and no Garrett Bowles, so I'm with you on that, but I have the Jets winning this one 21-19, in part because of Breece Hall. We've seen this rookie be so important and impactful to the Jets. 22 touches. He's seen his touches increase in every single week. 22 was last week. Look what he's doing to the Packers here. And what are they utilizing? Well, a light box. He had 114 yards against a light box last game, along with a 34-yard touchdown. What have the Broncos been doing with this light box situation? Oh, only giving up 130 yards per game using a light box in the past 3 games. So it's now become a trend. It's just this one-off situation. This has been going on for a while now. So that's why Breece Hall, difference maker.
Close scores so far.
Yeah, very close scores. I am going to keep that trend going, close and low. I have the Broncos actually winning this game, 18-17, because that's what year it feels like this game should be played. I don't honestly care who's playing quarterback for either team. I'm going to talk about the defense. I'm going to talk about the Broncos defense because they're not getting enough attention, even as bad as the offense has been. They've just been doing things. Randy Gregory goes down. Baron Browning comes in playing inside linebacker. All of a sudden, he's got one of the fastest sacks in the NFL this season coming off of the edge. And we already talked about Pat Surtain a little bit. They're just so good, and they're playing at home, and they haven't really cared. Like, no matter what's going on, no matter what sideline cutaways we have of disgruntled offensive players, this Broncos defense has just done it week after week. I think it's a Baron Browning and Bradley Chubb game, and the Broncos win one 18-17.
That's a stray bon if I've ever seen one. Because I am going Jets 21-17. We all have very close scores, which means none of us are really that confident on either side. Vibe check. Okay, the Jets are going in a different direction with the vibes. Yes. Everything with the vibes of the Broncos. Russell Wilson is just getting absolutely roasted.
You roasted him.
I mean, you did on your podcast. Don't put it on other people.
I have been there. I have roasted him. I don't know if you guys saw Melvin Gordon was liking all of these tweets after he got benched of saying oh, Melvin Gordon should request and not just one, Greg. I would say probably close to 10 to 15
He was mad.
tweets.
He's starting in this game.
I'm just saying vibes.
He's playing the Chargers. It was a revenge game.
Vibe check, stray bond, not good. But it's a stray bond nonetheless.
I failed many a vibe check in my life.
Yeah, you know what? Me too. Okay, NFL Knockout presented by Caesar Sportsbook is a free-to-play game on NFL.com. Win an exclusive VIP trip to experience the 2023 Pro Bowl. Jeez,
Her vibe check is off the charts right now.
The 2023 NFL Draft or Super Bowl 57 weekly. All you have to do is answer 10 questions about Sunday's games and top the leaderboard to win a trip of a lifetime. Visit NFL.com/knockout to sign up, play, and win. I'd love to do a deep dive of just all the people in that promo. What's their story? Who do they love? All right, Brady's upset. He's been real upset lately, but he's got the Panthers this week, so that's a plus, right?
Maybe he's really upset with Tom Brady.
Maybe he's really upset with how he's been forced.
He's yelling like those Geno fans.
Want more stats? Just ask Siri. Who leads the league in receiving touchdowns?
Math for ya. I won't. Cynthia will. It's National Tight End Day. Happy National Tight End Day to those who celebrate on Sunday. And not only does Kelsey lead all tight ends in touchdowns, he leads the league, Siri. But Cynthia, Mark Andrews is second on the list. He has had a couple days off this week, so he'll be nice and rested for the big day on Sunday.
Yeah, I'm looking at him to score a touchdown. He's my highest odds of scoring a touchdown. I will say, Travis Kelce does have high odds to score the touchdown, but Mark Andrews is just a tiny bit higher against this Browns defense. Browns are kind of missing a number of pieces. This is an important game to figure out the AFC North. I think it'll be much more interesting. Obviously, for your running back situation, you want to go out and get the other guy because J.K. Dobbins isn't playing. But I think these nice Mark Andrews touchdown is going to be a solid situation.
Okay, there you go. It is time for Over, Under. We're mixing it up here. We got some throwback foam fingers. We got the simple ones. It's gonna get a little wild, okay? Let's start with Bucks Panthers over under at 38.5. I believe I'm going over. You're going under. What do you like?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, why do you like? I like the under because the Panthers are involved in this game. I don't know if you've watched them play offense lately. They advance the ball past the line of scrimmage on a forward pass, which is like a whole thing they're doing in this league lately. Just one time last week. So that's an under, and I don't think this Bucs offense is really in position to have a lot of explosive plays either.
Well, I'm going over in this one, but I have 40 points, so it's not like this massive over. When I'm looking at the reasoning why here, well, sometimes you get a little lucky when you lose a piece like Christian McCaffrey and you surprise a team with a deep pass to, say, DJ Moore or the ghost of someone that we don't even know yet. So ultimately it's that, but ultimately it's going to be because Tom Brady needs to get this offense right, and there's a lot
This feels like a get-right game.
It feels like
in this offense.
It does, but the problem is we've been feeling like it's been a get-right game for Tom and the Buccaneers for
He'll yell at you. He'll yell at you. Careful.
They could score 30, and it could be 30-06.
Okay, all right. Well, excuse me. Let me change that. No, Tom, don't stop yelling at people and score some points. It's going to be under. Not just
gauntlet.
Of the Panthers. Clearly, they're not going to score a lot of points, but yeah, the Bucs aren't scoring a lot either.
Okay, Colts Titans. They combined for 41 points in Week 4. It is at 41.5 this week. I am going under. I feel like this is always just like, you never know who's going to come out on top. Going under.
We got a lot of sound.
I don't like it how they schedule these games so close together. Like the Colts are almost done with their schedule, but I do like an over. And that's what's going to happen in this game. Both of these defenses are solid. They get after the pass rush, but Matty Ice kind of returned back into the mix last week. And Derrick Henry's looked great all year. So I think the offenses are a little undersold here.
Well, whatever you do is what I do in this one.
There
No,
you go.
I have 45 points in this matchup. I think that when I'm looking at Derrick Henry a little bit healthier, getting better in this whole, this whole thing, it just feels like
awesome this year.
Well, from last year, he's much healthier. So that is an over for me.
It's not emphatic, but it is an under. It's an under.
It's like a half. It's
So
like
you added one to your mix
like,
here. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's double under, but it's really not that much under. I have 40 points. I think this is going to be a lot of
Feels right
Derrick
on the
Henry,
money.
a lot more on the ground. Not 37 passes in the first half from Matt Ryan again. Not as many points.
Texans Raiders. Texans have scored more than 20 points only one time. Over under is at 45.5. Please tell me that I have the under.
Yes, you win.
Thank God. Greg, what do you got?
I'm going to go over.
Okay.
The Raiders have been kind of great on offense the last handful of weeks. They put up 30 on the Broncos, which translates to about 40 on the Texans. They also put 29 on the Chiefs. I love Josh Jacobs. I love Josh McDaniels and the way this running game is going. I think they'll do it.
I have a pretty significant over on this one. 47 points projected for this one.
7 over.
Yeah, was it 41 or was it 40?
41.5.
The Mata loves the over.
We like it, so
45.5.
it's 1.5 points here over. When I'm looking at this matchup, I would feel better if Darren Waller were playing or if Hunter Renfrow were absolutely playing and there weren't so many questionable pieces to this offense. However, Devontae Adams, this is like a get-right situation for the Raiders and kind of get their season back on track. And we forgot there's a little bit of weird stuff going on with the Texans that we maybe didn't talk about or overlook. Not worried about that. Get that out of there. We're going all Raiders all day.
Serious. Oh.
Yeah.
When people leave.
Yeah.
People leave.
No longer there. So Depending on how you feel about that, I actually honestly am going to take the under because I feel anti-fun. Even though I'm sure, Jack used to be on the comedy circuit.
Does this game scream fun?
Yeah, it would. Just watching the Jags against the Texans a couple of weeks ago, they stifled them. The defense did a lot, and as much as I think, let's get 25 points for the Raiders, that's still not enough to get this game where it needs to be to hit the number.
All right, listen, we may disagree on some things, but there are a lot of things that we are in agreement on, including these games. Take a screen grab, folks. These are our meme alerts. We got the Ravens over the Browns. We got the Bengals. We got the Packers. And we got Le Patriots. I feel good about that.
If our old producer Tanton's watching, he would be so mad at us.
I definitely don't think Commanders fans are going to be mad at us.
No, I think that they'll understand. All right, we are going to talk some player props for Week 7 on the other side of this break. Who's balling out? Who's it going to be, Greg? Besides
How about that guy?
Gino?
Nick Chubb.
Nah.
Great at sports.
Get your game day started Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern with NFL Game Day Morning.
And the Jets block the punt. Touchdown!
Don't look now, but the Jets and Giants are a combined 9-3 this season. We'll let you know which surprise New York team has more staying power. Hey, Michael, will the Cowboys bounce back this week with Dak Prescott returning?
I am not putting it in the ether. That's that.
Okay, I guess we'll have to wait till Sunday to find out. And it's been a rough start to the season for Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers. Kurt Warner will explain what's wrong and if it can be fixed. All that and much more Sunday at 9 a.m. Eastern.
All right, we'll see you bright and early. In the meantime, it is time for More or Less. All right, let's talk some player props. Cynthia Rapsheet says Christian McCaffrey will have a red zone package on Sunday, more or less than half a touchdown.
I mean,
let's go.
You think he's just going to have one red zone package? I think there's going to be like a whole slew of red zone packages for him. I don't necessarily think he's going to get the same type of volume you saw him getting at the Panthers, but that's because they actually have other playmakers on this team that also can take a share of the touches or maybe, potential situations in other areas. But I do think red zone, Christian McCaffrey, it's going to be super confusing to this Chiefs defense, and they'll take advantage of that.
Greg, McCaffrey's old team, not a lot left offensively, more or less than 1.5 touchdowns.
But this bums me out. I'm going to go less. I mean, this is fun.
Bums you out, but you're just leaning
I know because it's so early in the season for it to feel so late, but they lost 40% of their targets for the season when they traded Robbie Anderson and Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah.
And poor P.J. Walker's had to come in and go against the Rams and now the Bucs defense, and this Bucs defense is angry. Todd Bowles called out some of his players, and I believe he was calling out his defensive players especially, and I think they'll be ready to go.
You're also missing 2 of your quarterbacks. Your main one, your backup is not good. Patrick Dak is back. More or less than 1.5 passing touchdowns against the Lions.
That's it?
Yeah, we said it already. This feels like an easy.
What if it were 2.5?
If it was 2 or more, I would still take that.
You'd still go.
Yeah, because honestly, this offensive line is in a much better situation, and the overreactions. I was a part of that in Week 1. It's like, oh gosh, it's over for the Dallas Cowboys. They aren't going to play that Buccaneers team every single week. They're fine. Terrence Steele's playing good football. Dak. 3.5 touchdowns.
Back. Okay, Greg, Melvin Gordon, he's getting the start for Denver. Some Twitter drama this week. More or less than half a touchdown against the Jets.
I'm going to go less again. And this isn't about Melvin Gordon, but I mean, he did get the start last week technically too. He just didn't finish, and they do have other solid running backs. I thought Latavius Murray ran well, by the way. Mike Boone is there. It's just the fact that he's on the Denver Broncos. They've only scored 7 or 8 touchdowns all season as a team. So to pick one player to score 1 touchdown is unlikely, no matter who the player is.
All right, Jamar Chase had 132 yards last week, more or less than 79.5 against the Falcons.
More.
Let's go.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it's going to be 132, but I think it's more than 79.5. We saw the return of the intermediate pass and the intermediate connection between he and Joe Burrow, but it's all about that deep pass. That's what we saw last season. And Casey Hayward, who's one of the most underrated corners in the entire NFL, has unfortunately gone on the IR. So you don't think that they're sitting there being like, ooh, let's find out. No, opposite side of A.J. Terrell, not there anymore. Oh, gosh, we have a great matchup there. So I think we see the reemergence of that deep reception, that deep connection with he and Joe Burrow.
Patrick, trivia question for you.
Okay.
Who is Bradley Chubb's cousin?
That would be Nick Chubb.
Let's go. let's talk about Nick
related.
Chubb. He had a season-low 56 rushing yards against the Patriots last week, more or less than 71.5 against Baltimore.
It's more, they're not the Patriots' defense as well as Baltimore's defense has played since Jason Pierre-Paul came on. They've been better. It's really just a question of how many carries Kevin Stefanski gives Nick Chubb. And I think considering the way the passing game has been in the past few weeks, he's going to get north of 23 carries. You do the math, he's going to get north of 72 yards.
This is a Ravens defense. It's actually kind of soft on the edge. Not to talk about your guy JPP, but yeah, that first good game, not so much the next week, and they were looking for more out of Oweh. I'm with you. I think they'll run all over.
I mean, you say with that kind of volume, it'd be like 3 yards per carry. That's not a Nick Chubb. I mean, you get that in like half as many.
Like we've said, he is an athlete.
We think he's good at every sport. We're not sure, but we think he could probably beat everyone listening, watching it.
All
every
sports across the board, he's going to beat you.
Water
specifically
polo.
Greg. We said specifically Greg. He's
I am sneaky athletic. Throwing that out there.
All right, guys, on the other side of this break,
seem sneaky to me.
Are going to be writing some things down, some things that we feel very confident in. Greg being good in all sports, that's not something we're writing down.
That doesn't help.
That's not something we're writing down.
But you're shifty. You can get through things, right? There's advantage to being small.
Who wants to be called shifty?
As an athlete?
Maybe the sport is like fitting through small gaps.
So much is at stake, I need a lot more on my plate.
Ben Skoranek, touchdown! Tariq Woolen intercepts his fourth in 4 games. Touchdown! Alec Pierce, 32-27 Colts.
They pick off Patrick Mahomes. The Bills come from behind. How about that?
And it's loose! Touchdown! And the Jets block the punt. Scooped up, touchdown! Kyle Pitts caught it.
Jamar Chase, a 60-yard touchdown.
Hit by Thibodeau. Ball comes loose and recovered by the Giants.
That's a closing play there. A major upset.
How sweet it is, baby.
Hurts. He's got Brown and Washington for the touchdown. 6-0 Philadelphia Eagles.
Oh, the football was footballing in week 6, and it will continue to football in week 7, baby. Is anybody else kind of bummed that we're already at week 7?
It's
like,
wild.
It is flown.
Wild.
Slow down. Stop growing up. Stop getting older. It is time to write this down. These are things that we are all feeling very confident about, and I believe I am going to go first. Something's up with the Packers offense. Something's up with Aaron Rodgers. I saw some video this week of him rubbing his nipples, and it made me very uncomfortable. Please don't go Google that. You don't need to see it. I'm sorry. It just popped into my brain, and I had to say it out loud. Aaron Rodgers throws just one touchdown, under 1.5 touchdowns. They're playing the Commanders. The Packers offense has scored just 10 points over their last 6 quarters.
Well, how would you say the nipple rubbing affected the prediction?
It weirded me out enough to say that something's going on with this team. It's giving me bad vibes.
Okay.
What do you like for your rates now?
I wish I liked it as much as that. I like the Falcons. I love the Falcons. You okay over there?
No.
We're going to be fine.
Definitely fine. I'll show you the video later.
Nobody say it
Let's
again.
bring it back in.
We'll
The Falcons and the Bengals are 2 very even teams. So I think the Falcons are going to keep it closer than a touchdown. How much more can we disrespect this 3-3 team? They destroyed your beloved 49ers a week ago by 2 touchdowns. They're getting it done. They run the ball so well. The Bengals don't stop the run. They beat my team, Geno Smith. I see this as a coin flip type of game. It's going to be close.
I kind of like
against
this.
the Bengals.
Is
I like
Geno
this.
Smith the entire team?
The Falcons didn't even make it into our show. Like, where were they? They haven't been in the show the whole time.
First we talk about nipples, then I get yelled at. Like, my goodness, what's going on?
Not just nipple rubbing.
Okay, what do you like, Sin?
I would go with Geno Smith's teammate very quietly that Ken Walker's going to score a touchdown. I don't care when it is. I don't care if it's first. I don't care if it's last. But he's going to score a touchdown. Why? Because this guy has all of the volume and he breaks tackles. So this is a great matchup. Ken Walker, you can book it. Go MSU.
Love that.
My write this down is Matty Ice. Matt Ryan will throw for more than 250 yards, and that's because the Colts cannot run the ball. Jonathan Taylor or not right now. Matty Ice throwing the ball 1,000,000 times is the only way they move the ball. I like him to get more.
Oh, Matty Ice.
Narrative. Like,
Matty is back.
He's back.
I don't think they're win. I just think he's going to throw the ball a lot.
What do you see?
Okay, that is it. That is all. We talked about a lot of things in this show.
We did. We covered a lot of things. Big
including
spectrum.
nipple rub.
Nipples included.
My goodness.
Nipples included.
I did not see that.
We will see you next week. Enjoy week 7. Enjoy the football.
I was not expecting that.
no.